Pop Chat. My name is Annette Tarpley. I'm the founder of The Passion of Poetry. And with me today, I'm delighted to introduce to you Silence Wordsmith. Welcome, Silence.
Thank you for having me. What a great intro, by the way.
Oh, we try. But yeah, it's kind of fun. But I'm so glad to have you. I've been looking forward to seeing you. You said that you have an event later on tonight. So,
Yeah, I do. I'm gonna go see Black Widow. She's in the set list at Under One Roof in Smyrna, so I got a bit of a drive ahead of me later. It's about an hour away, so but I'm so excited. I'm a huge fan of her.
I am too. I'm too. I wish it was just an hour away. I'm trying to figure out how far y'all are from me. Is it Nashville?
I live in Gallatin. I'm like right on the city line of Gallatin and Hendersonville, and that's about 30 minutes outside of Nashville.
Yeah, Nashville's about 6 hours and a half for me. But one of these days, I'm going to come down there, and you guys are just gonna. I have to make sure there's an event or two before I come
It'll
down.
blow you all the way.
I'll have to come down there and crash your little party down there. So,
Yeah,
but
I would love to have you at my show.
yeah, I would love. Do you actually are you the in charge of it?
Yeah, I host an open mic poetry event. I took over after Christine Hall, and it's under a different name. It was Poetry in the Brew. Now it's Writer's Wart, and but it's the same time, same place. 5 o'clock at Portland Brew East in Nashville. So
That's so
that
cool.
place just feels like home to me.
I
I felt
bet
so
it is.
comfortable there. Yeah.
Yeah. The poetry community I think is very tight knit, and we kind of are supportive of each other, and it's like another family almost, isn't it?
It
So
is, yeah. I feel like my family is growing and I'm making friends and everything. So I just love our community so much.
that is great. That is great, and that everyone's supportive. So I'm going to give the stage to you. I'm going to have you introduce yourself and divulge whatever information you want us to know about you, and personal, poetry wise, writing, whatever you want to say about you. You can do it much more animated than I can. So here you go, darling.
Okay, so just anything
Anything
about
you want,
me, whether it's like personal.
anything. Yeah, I mean, if you robbed a bank last week, you might want to keep that out. But other than that,
Okay, yeah, I'll just read my bio and talk a little bit about my work and my personal life. I'll read my bio real quick. Let's see. If I knew I was going to read this, I would have had it at the top of the list here. Here we go. Silence Wordsmith is the host of open mic poetry event Writer's Wart. She struggles with stage fright but powers through it because poetry is her passion. She writes for catharsis and is known to dress to express. Her interest in poetry was sparked at 14 years old after receiving an eloquent love letter. She has been writing ever since. Mostly writing in prose, sometimes she will recite a quick haiku or a lengthy ballad. Pairing performance and poetry, Silence Wordsmith. So I do struggle with stage fright. Like, day of a show, I have trouble sleeping the night before, and I have trouble eating the day of, and I'm just a nervous wreck, and I just try to fight through that. And you'll see like my hands shaking, and I just fight through it. We're all human, and sometimes I hate it when this happens, but sometimes I blank during the middle of a poem. I try to like memorize my poem and act it out, and I dress up for it too. And sometimes I'll just draw a blank because I get like really inside my head sometimes. But I have to like power through that. But I hate it when that happens because it's like your poems are your children, and when it doesn't deliver quite as well as you would like, that's like, your kid messing up on the first day of school or something. And my poetry, in high school, it took me about 2 hours to write a poem. Now it takes me like a month. I think through every single line, meticulously, and I brainstorm constantly. Like, I get obsessed with my poems. Like, whenever I'm in the middle of writing a poem, I can't stop thinking about it, and I try to think of what I want the next line to be, how I want to word that. But what inspires me is I don't know how much you know about brainwaves, but there is such a thing called the theta brainwave. It happens when you first wake up in the morning and right before you go to bed at night, and sometimes like whenever you're driving or taking a shower or something like that. It's the most creative time for your brain, and sometimes I get the best ideas just like whenever I'm driving around. So I love driving around all the time, just joyriding. And anyway,
So then do you pull over? Then do you pull over and?
No, I just kind of remember it. I just keep it all in my head until I get home. But I also like to watch a lot of music videos to kind of help me brainstorm ideas, and once the poem is done, I try to fill up a whole page, and then like once the poem is done, that's when I start like planning out my outfit and all that fun stuff.
Wow, you even have an outfit to. Yeah, I bet you look quite cool out there when you deliver your stuff.
I try to illustrate my poem the best that I can. I try to make it come to life as much as possible by dressing the part and acting it out. And I try to memorize it, try to engage with my audience. I feel like that's very important rather than just looking at your phone. But there's nothing wrong with looking at your phone either.
It takes a while to memorize them.
It does. Like, what I do is I pretty much brainwash myself. Like, I'll just like record it and I'll listen to it over and over and over again. So like, instead of listening to the radio on my way to work, I'll be listening to my tape recording. And after a while, it's just like, I'm so tired of this. It's like, I'm done with this. But
feeding yourself those subliminal messages. That's excellent. Yeah. Actually, that's probably pretty good.
I do it until it's like I can do it in my sleep.
Wow, that's good. That's good. I don't even know if I dream half the time, so.
I never remember my dreams.
I'm very anxious to hear you. So I want to give the stage back to you, and want you to give me something, because usually I don't look people up too much beforehand if they come recommended. I just let them do their thing and give me the wow factor and surprise me. I love to be surprised. So looking forward, and you're not nervous, so it'll all be good.
I am always nervous.
Just remember, well, if you have it right there for backup in case you forget or something, I don't know.
Oh, the poem that I wrote for this, I was just gonna read it from my phone this time.
Did you want to do that one first?
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, I could do any poem that you want. I can do the one that I wrote for this. I can do maybe my most notable one. Or I can do the one I named after myself. I have a poem called Silence Wordsmith.
Well, pick one of those to do, and then do your cornucopia after. Oh, I'm sorry. That's what she named it. So that's the title you came up with, was cornucopia. Mm-hmm. And
one other poem other than that one.
Whatever you want to do.
Okay.
So, are you going to do 2?
Yeah, I'll do 2. Okay. But yeah, I am a little nervous because like this is like my first time, just like doing a video like this, live streaming from my room. Also my very first interview. Period. My label is showing. There, that's better. Okay. So I will read. Do we have to keep this clean?
Well, I mean, typically, just do your thing. Just do your
Okay.
thing. Yeah.
Because I have like a few cuss words in this one. All right, so this poem is called phone's Dan. Silence that. Okay. This poem is self-titled. It's called Silence Wordsmith, and it's kind of a mission statement. Shh. Shh. Shut the fuck up. Listen up. And I just might watch my language before it slips. If you can only just read my lips. Illiterate sounded out. Let me tell you what I'm all about. Conceived in contradiction through the skip of a theta brainwave. It revived my voice from beyond the grave. And you know my mind is turning gears from the smoke coming from my ears. I am forthwith Silence Wordsmith. I break my silence in poetic eloquence. And you can tell me you've had enough of this, but don't plug your ears to the bells of tinnitus. I was raised to keep my mouth shut, to let any dumb fuck tell me what's what. I'm mocked by the memories of the men who muffled my mouth, and I have a plan for them if things go south. The silent treatment is only self-torment if the other never swallowed the supplement. Where is my voice? In a bubble above my head, snagged on a string between two tin cans, in the echo of a wishing well. Not as far as I can tell. So said a little bird, it's in the written word. I press pen to paper and let it bleed through, as if to leave a carbon copy just for you. I'll speak my truth, whatever that means. Better get back before I spill the beans. You can call it chicken scratch, but it's not chicken shit. I punch the keys and hit save and submit. I tap the mic and tip my hat like a blue-blooded aristocrat. I could be as mute as a mime, or I could write and rhyme. Never mind when I speak. I have a siren shriek. I've shattered a few glasses around here, but I just want to be crystal clear. I've been told I'm not so quiet for a name like Silence, but it's the quiet ones that seek defiance. My voice carries. That's how I get banned from libraries. I only speak when spoken to, when it's my cue. Silence is solace. That's what I would call this. Silence is only golden for the tongue holden. I found my voice. I wield words as my weapon of choice. It is my defense against verbal violence, though I still sanctify silence. One should be reserved with your word if you want it to be heard. So zip your lip, because I can't hear myself think. What do I see in this blot of ink? Just write what feels right. If this has gone over your head and out of reach, just understand it's a figure of speech. And if this makes any sense, you can call me Silence. I am forthwith Silence Wordsmith. I break my silence in poetic eloquence. I break my silence in poetic eloquence. I break my silence in poetic eloquence. That's Silence Wordsmith. So, should I go ahead and read Cornucopia?
Sure, if you have it up, that's fine.
Okay. So, This one, I only had like a couple of days to write this. So okay, so what we're doing is like I picked out a title. I chose cornucopia, and it's supposed to be kind of like about a Thanksgiving memory. But as I was writing it, I ended up kind of writing it from my mom's perspective, and I have such a wonderful mother. She just sacrifices herself for her family, and she has always tried to be a good wife, a good mother, and she just sometimes frankly kills herself over it. I remember every year for Thanksgiving, she just like get red in the face, and just try her hardest to give the best Thanksgiving every year. She would cook all of her favorites, and like my dad would just kind of pester her sometimes, and so she just had to deal with all that stress. And anyway, I kind of wrote this in more of a spoken word kind of a way. The way that I write, it's more structured, a more structured format, and spoken word is more flowy. I try to write it kind of in a way that, like, I'm a big fan of Brandon Long. He's one of our fellow poets in our community, and I try to write it kind of like the way he writes. I just to kind of see how well I do at it. But yeah, here it goes. Cornucopia. The horn of plenty for many a hungry, hangry, mangy mutt. I gut and stuff this turkey's butt for you ungrateful, hateful bunch. It's always better the next day for lunch. I'll bag it up in little brown bags like when you were in school and you could take it to work. Now leave me alone before I go berserk. Your father is such a bother. He always pushes my buttons, even when I've asked for nothing. And Gran is making the gravy, and that helps to keep me from going crazy. But if you're no help, then I gotta help myself. Thanksgiving won't cook itself. Thanksgiving Day is a holiday for everyone but me. I slave away. Y'all, I don't mean to scold, but we say a prayer, but can we say a prayer before it gets cold? God, grant me grace, grant me peace and serenity from this cornucopia horn of plenty. Now that you're all passed out in a food coma induced by tryptophan, I gotta clean this kitchen spick and span. Take out the trash, then I can crash. With an ear of corn, I hear the horn. There is always plenty, never empty. Cornucopia is a utopia, but it is just too much for this steel magnolia. I wrote it in a way that, like, Thanksgiving is about like harvest time and thanking God for, what he has given you and everything. But you also need to thank the people who prepare it, because I remember, my mom be working so hard, and then like us kids, like, we would like take it for granted, and
Yeah.
my dad was a little passive aggressive. So yeah, it was just a very
A
stressful
lot
time.
of work.
Please remember it's a holiday.
I'm a very fast writer. I write off the cuff. I, finish this in about 20 minutes before we started. So I'm don't usually mull over my stuff at all. So I'm kind of like bam. So it might show it here. So I but I enjoyed listening to both of those actually, and your one of your wordsmith one was great, and I'll have to send you something later. I came across there's regarding the F word. There's something I'll send you two things. There's ones done very eloquently. That's funny on YouTube, but then there's a Indian guru who went over it too. Basically the same type of thing, but it was funny coming out of him. So I'll have to send you those later. It's interesting.
Oh, should I say how I got the name, like how I created the name Silence Wordsmith?
Yeah, yeah.
So what happened was, I don't tell this to many people, so that's why I want to go ahead and say it here. So what happened was, whenever I was about 16, 17, the movie National Treasure came out, and there was like this scene with the Silence Do-Good letters, and they're like, why is, Silence capitalized? Because it's a name. And I was like, that is a really beautiful name, Silence Do-Good was the pen name for Benjamin Franklin whenever he was, writing those letters. And anyway, and then I'm also a fan of Alanis Morissette, and I remember there was this one song of hers where she used the word wordsmith, and anyway, I I put the two together and I was like, Silence Wordsmith, that sounds like a name, and it's also kind of contradictory, and sometimes I kind of feel like a walking contradiction, and I just kind of felt like it was perfect for me. So
Yeah. How long have you been going by that?
Well, I had it as my profile name for a while back whenever I was in high school. And then I went only by Silence Wordsmith whenever I started these open mic poetry events, I started going to them and everything. And my real name is Sarah Lynn Pagel. And I don't mind it if someone calls me Sarah, but I do prefer.
What does your mother call you? She still call you Sarah?
My mom calls me Sarah. Like my family and the people I work with, they call me Sarah. But like in the poetry community, I like people to call me Silence. It's just it makes me smile.
Yeah, it's a cool name. Yeah,
Thank you.
love it, love it, love it. I don't have a alter ego. I don't have a pen name, so I just go by. I put Wingert in there because that's my maiden name very often. But you know, Tarpley is really no longer my name. It is, but it isn't. So this is called cornucopia. Go figure. Sometimes in our busy worlds, we are in such a hurry, unable to appreciate the blessings in life. You may be down and out, struggling each day to make it to the next, praying for change. The advent of a new day can change your entire perspective despite your predicament. If one's basic needs for survival are not being met, one is likely to question their circumstances. Yet, if one reflects on what they have versus what they lack, one can become enlightened. Upon examining what we do have, we can appreciate that which we may possess that another lacks, finding joy in the simpler things, smelling the fragrance of flower, overcome by its intoxicating scent, receiving the gift of a smile from another, along with wishing you a delightfully awesome day, someone giving you a hug in words of empathy conveyed with sincerity and unsolicited understanding, the gentle caress of someone you love to calm and soothe as they wipe away your tears. A clear celestial night, as the glow of the moon and the twinkling stars bid you good night. A friend or loved one who is steadfast and always there to lend you their ear whenever needed. If you really reflect on your situation, you'll find there's a multitude of blessings that engulf your life. Perhaps then you can see that your cornucopia is rich and plentiful in those things of immeasurable value that really matter most. Oh, thank you. Yeah, that's off the cuff. So I just I'm a bam one. Every once in a while I'll start something and I get into it. I'm not feeling it, so I'll put it down and maybe come back and finish it, later. And sometimes it's weeks or months later, but not very often. It's usually I'm kind of I have the spillage of the pen problem, so it just boom, it goes out there, and it is what it is usually.
Yeah, I
But
thought Cornucopia was like a pretty good title. You can pretty much, write about just about anything with something like that. So,
it is a great title. We have some comments. We're going to go to those. Let's go to
yeah.
those. Um, Please sign your comments so we know who you are, because otherwise you are a Facebook user. So here we have good evening, ladies. Michael DeLake. Hey, Michael. He was on yesterday. Michael was on. I had two yesterday. Jill is in the room. Say hi, Jill. Bedtime for me. Wanted to say hi. So
Bye.
both, Jill is one of the admins. She lives in the UK. Both of them live in the UK. Sweet dreams. He's telling her sweet dreams, and thanks, Mike. So they're conversing between themselves there. Hey, Silent. I can so relate. The stage fright thing gets me too. Michael actually is a good friend and an excellent poet, and I interviewed him over a year ago when I first started Pop Chat. He was really nervous, so we almost had like a panel discussion. We had two or three other people there, which I think made him feel a little bit more comfortable. I don't think he was reading his poetry. We maybe read it for him. And last night he went and had some therapy for that, and did a marvelous job solo last night reading his own stuff. So proud of you, Michael. And just relax, Silent, and enjoy the moment, he says. Good advice.
Oh, it's easier said than done.
And then hello, it's Black Widow. Hey, Gina. Black Widow
Hey,
from Columbia, Tennessee. Go poet, flow it. Yeah, there you
go
go.
poet, poet.
Love it.
Thank you for
Beautiful word,
joining.
beautiful flow to your words. And then we have wow, love your flow and rhyme, brilliant words. Wordsmith last. And that is from Jill. She says last. Sorry, ladies, gotta go. Congratulations, enjoy. Don't know who that was, but and then Night Blondie Tate. Okay, so it must have been Jill. And then we have another smiley face and heart, and we have another beautiful poem. Mums are so important, indeed. And beautiful words in it. Thank you, Michael. And Gina loves y'all. We love you, Gina. She's
Love you,
great.
Gina.
Yeah, she's marvelous. I love her. Need to have her back on one of these days, Gina. Just saying. We'll have to do that and set you up again. It's been probably close to a year, maybe since I've had her on. It seems like a long time. She says, "What? Check out her show in Nashville every second Saturday." Is that something that's televised? I mean, is it on the internet where we can see it? Is
I
it
do live stream my event on, I have a Facebook group under the same name, Writers Ward. So I live stream it on that Facebook group.
good? Good, so we can see that. Send
Yeah,
send that send that link to me if you would. I'd like to
sure.
see it. Yeah, that'd be great. I'll share it. I'll share it on Pop as well. So that would be great. Love that. So is there any kind of poet that has influenced you through the years?
Poet or musician?
Well, either. You tell me.
Well, my musical inspirations are Alanis Morissette, Marilyn Manson, and I'm a big '90s girl. And poetically, like historical poets, Shakespeare, Edgar Allan Poe, but like poets as in Friends, I greatly admire Black Widow and Brandon Long. Um, and A.W. Page, like I thought he was very talented, but he recently moved to Florida, and it broke my heart. I was like, I was like, please don't leave. You're one of the best. I adore him. But yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I think everyone is very talented. Everyone brings something different to the table,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it really
That's the
makes it
nice
like
thing is
a
the diversity of the talent out there
family.
is wonderful.
We have a very diverse group, and I love that.
Yeah. Well, it makes it more entertaining. I mean, if everybody is the same, that would be quite boring. So that's great. It's great when we embrace each other, encourage each other, and kind of soldier on. So I got to. Now you said something just a moment ago. I'm trying to think of what it was. Oh, I think that you had who were the musical people? You had Marilyn Manson and
Alanis Morissette.
yes, Alanis Morissette. I actually like that album. You know her really big album that she came out with, the big one. I can't
Jagged
remember
Little Pill.
huh?
Jagged Little Pill.
Yes, love the acoustic version of that.
Oh
That's
yeah,
my
I saw her live at the Ryman Auditorium when the acoustic version came out. It was the 10-year anniversary, I believe.
yeah. I
Yeah.
love the acoustic version of that. Love it.
What was so great about that concert too, by the way, not only was it my very first concert, but also at one point, like, okay, so like if you ever go to the Ryman Auditorium, it's a great place to, see bands like up close. And I got pretty close to her, and I can't remember if I did like the rock and roll symbol or like, the like I love you symbol, but
Right?
anyway, I did one of those, and she did it back. She
Oh,
saw
cool.
it. And yeah.
Isn't that
So
neat? Yeah, I did that too. That same thing I did at an Amy Grant concert. Amy Grant's probably not your cup of tea, but I went to go see her, and I did that. And I swear, even though I was up in the rafters, I swear she saw me and did it back. But I could be wrong. Could just be my misperception of whatever it was that I was living in at the time. So we have a hi from Emily.
that's probably my sister. Yeah, that's probably my sister.
Great. Much love. You are truly an inspiration to us, and that is Love Gina. Great. And then we have such motivation and so supportive too. Very good. That's great. So
well, yeah, my sister Emily, she's a huge help with me setting up everything at Writers Wart. So thank you to her.
How often do you have that event?
It's every month on the second Saturday every month at 5:00, Portland Brew East.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah.
Second Saturday of every month.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I need to come crash, y'all. Second Saturday. So
yeah,
does Christine come to that? Did she come to that?
Well, she was previously hosting it, and she's taking a break from all open mic poetry events. She's trying to write a book right now. And so, I did ask her to come to my last event. My last event was a special event. I was celebrating my birthday. My birthday was the Sunday before that. And I just turned 36. And anyway, it was a great event. I also had like the poster hanging up in the loft, and trying to draw some new blood on the mic. So doing that, and but yeah, I dressed up for it. I wore a tiara and everything, and it was a birthday gift to myself. And like we were trying to have fun, like aside from like poetry readings, we also just did like karaoke, and we also like inhaled helium from balloons and just and did like Egron Pose the Raven. I thought that would be hilarious. It was like my first time doing that too. 36 years old, and finally.
That would be kind of fun to watch that. Inhale helium and then do the Raven or something. That would be.
It was so funny. Pose the Raven, nevermore. I loved it, but anyway, we had a really great turnout, and I'm so glad that Christine was able to make it. I try to stay in touch with her, and I told her she's my hero.
Yeah, she's a marvelous lady. She really is.
She really is.
Quite lovely. Quite lovely. What do you think that we can do within our community to promote poetry more than it's being currently promoted, to really infuse it within our society?
Well, I do feel like poetry is kind of dying these days. No one really writes anymore, and these singers and songwriters, like sometimes I feel like they're just like creating like one line and just saying it over and over and over again. It's like, where are the lyrics? That's like one of the reasons why I love Alanis Morissette so much, because her album Supposed Former Infatuation Junkie, I know that's a long title, but she's like such a lyrical genius. And the reason why I love Marilyn Manson is because he's a shock rocker, and
Yeah.
sometimes you gotta shock people,
I'm not
and
familiar with his stuff. He was always a little bit too scary for me.
yeah.
Maybe the interviews were Funky Contact or something. I kind of get the jest, though. Maybe he isn't in real life. He's not quite his persona.
No, so like on stage, like he's a big shock rocker, but like in his personal life, from what I understand, like he's like very like romantic and introverted. But there are some people that are saying the contrary to that. Evan Rachel Wood actually has like these allegations against him of like sexual abuse and everything. So yeah,
No.
it's kind of like another like Johnny Depp Amber Heard trial. And something else too is Marilyn Manson, Johnny Depp, they're actually best friends. So it's kind of a
Really? I actually just watched. It came up on Facebook. Part of that is that trial from a year ago. I was watching some of her testimony. She was on the stand and listening to her and watching the. Usually I don't watch that kind of stuff, but for some reason it intrigued me. And of course, he won't look at her in the eye or look at her at all. And that was just kind of weird. But
yeah, Johnny Depp said to Amber Heard that you would never see my eyes again. So that's why he's doing that. But the Me Too movement, fully support it. But sometimes I feel like some people might abuse that and like create a hoax. But that's just what we live in today.
Yeah.
But to answer your question, I don't know how to revive the world of poetry, except to perform your art and to encourage others to do that and to get the word out. That's something I'm wanting to do. That's Writers War. I want to try to draw more people in. I'm trying to think of different ways to do that. Sometimes I actually go busking downtown trying to bring new people in. I'll just I'll go to downtown Nashville and get on the mic and just recite some of my poetry and pass out flyers. And it's not really in an effort to get money. It's an effort to try to bring new people into the show and just try to keep it alive.
Yeah, I think it's there's a lot of untapped talent out there too that we don't know about. So maybe by your going out there too, you can come across people who are really good at it and do a great job as well. So when you have those performances on Saturday night, how many sets or how many people are usually reciting as a general rule?
Well, I mean, our number of people vary. I guess on average, maybe like 10. Sometimes we have a short show. Sometimes we have a long show. I'm doing the best I can at networking. I'm very much a rookie at all of this. I'm just kind of winging it. Like whenever I took over, I was like, Christine, please give me some guidance here. I don't know what I'm doing.
Well, she was probably just glad that you took on took some of the heat off of her so she could have a rest. And it's a lot of work when you run things.
I remember when I first discovered Poetry in the Brew, it was like a month after my dad died. And I was like, this is where I belong. And I was looking at Christine Hall and I was like, I want to be just like you. And now here I am. It's like, I never thought this would happen, and I feel like I'm doing something with my life. So that makes me happy.
Yeah, like indeed. Yeah.
My motto is like, make your passion your purpose. And that's what I'm doing. I feel very passionate about poetry. And, I'm trying to, carry on the legacy.
Exactly. Well, you're doing a great job. So just keep doing what you're doing. I want to give this stage back to you. Why don't you do a couple more for us, if you would? That would be great.
A couple more poems?
Yeah, if you would.
Yeah, I'd love to.
Yeah.
Let's see. Um, okay, so here's my most recent one, and I did blank on this at my birthday party. And anyway, it's called Men in Makeup. Let's see. All right. Let me do your makeup, then you can do mine. Boy, when you wear my makeup, you look so fine. We paint our face before we paint the town. We'll paint it red up and down. Yeah, it appears it's evident he might be effeminate to relish in such embellishment. And we might arouse such apoplexy, but I gotta say, I find it sexy. Just want to say, hey, what's up? Men in makeup. Still wearing last night's eyeliner when you wake up. Our cat eyes turn into raccoon eyes overnight. That was not on purpose, but that's all right. We work it, own it, and slay. Yesterday, tomorrow, and today. Oh, kissing is just the same. As unrestrained as hairspray on an open flame. I've got a man that's unlike anyone. He smears my lipstick, but never makes my mascara run. Hold on, hun. I still have my hair in rollers. You can borrow something of mine off the shoulders. Just want to say, hey, what's up? Men in makeup. Still wearing last night's eyeliner when you wake up. Our cat eyes turn into raccoon eyes overnight. That was not on purpose, but that's all right. We work it, own it, and slay. Yesterday, tomorrow, and today. I know they didn't ask for it, but tonight we give glamour. Guts, glitz, glitter, and glamour. We'll strut through the crowd's clamor with our guts, glitz, glitter, and glamour. Before the night is over, we might end up in the slammer with our guts, glitz, glitter, and glamour. We all choose an aesthetic. It's all copacetic. Gender roles in itself is cosmetic. We know who we are, and that is not pathetic. Lipstick on our teeth, blisters on our feet. Lipstick on our teeth, blisters on our feet. Oh, had a lot of fun writing that one. Let's see, I can read one more if you'd like. I'm writing a poem right now. It's not done yet, but it's called Awkward Silence. For my awkward moments. Let's see. Got a couple of dirty ones here. I don't want to read those. I'll read this one. Okay. This is kind of about boundaries and the power of saying no. Draw the line. Can you take no for an answer? Can I push off this pressure? Me, a mindless marionette, making sure everyone's needs are met. Each and every responsibility only yields one possibility, and that's another day, fighting the currents until I cry out Mayday. Draw the line, I draw the line. Draw the line, I draw the line. In the sand from my hand between where we stand. In the sand from my hand between where we stand. A self-sacrificial lamb, the son of Abraham. I bet you thought I had the nerve to demand what I deserve. I'd break the bank, break my back for you, if it meant the day was through. The more I give, the more you expect. But all I expect is just a little respect. Draw the line, I draw the line. Draw the line, I draw the line. In the sand from my hand between where we stand. In the sand from my hand between where we stand. As sharp as a ruler's edge. This line cannot be swept away. by any incoming wave. This line is in my mind. You cannot cross it or find the end. This is where I am no longer your friend. This is my limit, how much I can take. This is how far I can bend before I break. This is self-love. Not that you ever got that, but whatever. Can you take no for an answer? That's Draw the Line.
Yay, loved them. That first one was a lot of fun. I bet that was fun writing that.
Yeah, I kind of wrote it like it was a song.
Yeah, it was fun. It's fun.
I love watching RuPaul's Drag Race. It's one of my favorite shows.
Which one's your favorite show? What is?
One of my favorite shows is RuPaul's Drag Race. You know, so like,
I think
whenever I wrote that, I was thinking about that show.
Yeah, it's fun to watch, I'm sure. I started watching some kind of a thing with drag queens, and it was like a contest, and I was really bored by it, so I quit watching that. I don't know if you know what that is. They were like cooking and had to like, it was a contest where they were like, who could be the best host, and I don't know, it was weird. So I quit watching that because I just thought it seemed a little bit too scripted for me, not as spontaneous, you know. And so I just lost interest in that. But they were amusing for about 5 minutes for me. After that, I lost. And not that I like to watch them, because I do. I just, you know, it just seemed too scripted. But anyway, do you even know what that is? Does it sound familiar?
What was it called? It was.
I don't know. It's just kind of like.
Okay, they were just like them like competing on who's the better host.
Yeah, they were like did settings. They were supposed to have dinner, so they were supposed to make dinner. They were supposed to do the decorating, and it was like two people on each team. Both of them were.
Yeah, the world of drag is really coming along. Like they're doing shows in Las Vegas now.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, they have some really talented ones, but this was a little. And then that announcer guy was just too cheesy. It was like. So I was like, oh, okay, this is not for me, but I mean, I'm sure it was entertaining for some people. I didn't find that particular thing to be entertaining.
Drag is very entertaining because you have to be good at everything, you know, like.
Yeah, no, I like watching drag. I remember going through a town. I was traveling. I was doing some travel nursing stuff, and I needed a haircut really bad. So the small town, Farmville, Virginia, I was driving past it and trying to find somebody. I got somebody to take me. And the guy was the guy who owned it and also was cutting my hair was a drag queen. And he showed me his pictures and they were just great. I mean, he looked better than I've ever looked. And, you know, makeup was perfect. The pictures were great. And he even did the pictures. And then his whole salon, it was Christmas time. And he must have had, I don't know, at least 10, 15 trees in there. It was a huge salon. He had all decorated. It was just immaculately done. I was just so impressed. He's just so talented in many areas. So I was like mesmerized. He was like, let's get rid of that haircut. You need something different. I said, yeah, do something different. So no matter what anybody does with my hair, it still ends up the same somehow. I don't know what it is. So it always ends up the same. So I'm going to ask you 3 questions. I ask everyone. And that is you come across Aladdin's lamp, you're granted 3 wishes, anything you want in the whole wide world. Silence. What are you going to wish for?
3 things in the whole wide world.
Anything you want.
Well, I would love to, you know, be financially stable enough to where I could, you know, get my own place and live on my own. I live with my older sister, my mother. We help take care of my mom. She has lymphedema in her legs, and she has a spinal injury, and it's hard for her to get around. So, I mean, I would, you know, love to, make it possible to get her the help that she needs, and also help my other family members. And I would love to have just an actual writing career, like be financially stable enough to just, stay home and really write, like write a book or something. So, I mean, of course, first one would have to be finances. And to just kind of revive the world of poetry, let's see. Oh gosh, this is gonna sound so corny. The third one would be to meet the man of my dreams, meet the one. But yeah,
that would be nice, wouldn't it? I haven't met
Mhm.
them. I've succumbed to the fact that it's not going to happen for me. I'm old now,
I'm
so
so
yeah. My oldest child is almost 40 years old. So,
dating these days is rough.
huh?
Dating these days is very rough.
It is it's not even dating. Let's don't even give it the respect of calling it dating. It's not dating. It's yeah, it is what it is or isn't. I don't call it dating. That's what
Hooking
I
up.
think would be a good business. I think that would be a good business is to actually start a business where you kind of play matchmaker, but you're doing it the old fashioned way, setting up, you know what I mean? Like maybe mixers in person, things in person, not always online. And, it's just, it's messed up. That's how I feel about it. But it might be about all you've known, you know. I actually went online 30 years ago and met my now ex-husband. And that's how we met. But it was brand spanking new. There really wasn't anybody online. And that didn't work out. But, you're not too
You kind of have
old.
to go with it, see what life has to offer, just keep going.
Well, hopefully you'll find that person. You're young enough where, that can happen for you. And you just want to know, you want somebody who totally adores you.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for a meaningful relationship, if that's at all possible.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What is name 2 attributes you like most in a man?
Oh, well, I want someone that wants to help me, in life, wants to be my partner. And so I guess, just attentiveness would be the first one. Second one, oh gosh, these are tough questions. Just I guess someone that I could just trust, to be there for me.
Yeah, well,
I could probably come up
attentiveness
with a
and
better
trust
answer
are
later.
those are great. Yeah, those are great things to want. So, I think, don't you find that being a writer or a poet, you're going to have somebody that really appreciates and is into your poetry and supports that?
Yeah. Yeah, I just, I want someone to, just be very supportive of me, be my life partner.
Yeah, yeah. The 2 most attractive qualities in a man for me are sense of humor and intelligence. So those are two big ones for me. Although I like what you said too and all that stuff as well, but they can make me laugh, and if they, you know, can carry on a fairly intelligent conversation, I'm good. So it's hard to find those as well. But anyway,
Here's something funny. So I was talking to this one guy, and I asked him how he was doing, and he said, like he was talking about work, and he said it was busy, and he spelt busy BISSY. And I was like, I can't keep talking to this guy. So
yeah,
I
yeah. I went to work the other day. I was working in a nursing home. I'm a nurse practitioner, but I've been kind of just have 2 part-time jobs right now. So one is passing meds on the floor in a nursing home after I just got done doing psychiatry in a nursing home. But came to this job. I've only worked there like 3 times, and I answered the phone, and this guy says it's the first thing in the morning, and he was like, "You sound like you're very sweet," and it's like, "How can I help you?" Uh, well, are you a nurse? Yes, I'm a nurse. Well, I'm having issues. I said, well, I'm here for the residents. This isn't, unless you have a concern or whatever about one of the residents, that's not what I'm here for. And he said, well, it's personal and it's sexual. I said, sorry, sir, can't help you, and hung up the phone. But I was like,
Yeah, I've dealt with things like that. I'm not a nurse, but I am in the medical field. I'm a sitter, so I've had situations where like a male patient would like try to pull me into bed with them,
yeah.
things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got all
So,
kinds of stories. I remember working in a nursing home years ago when I was a brand new nurse. I was pregnant, about 8 months pregnant with my daughter, and the old guy, who I'm sure can't do anything, looks at me and says, "Why don't you come to bed with me? The damage has already been done." And I was like, "Oh my gosh."
I mean, I have a family full of nurses or like people just like in the medical field. My mom is a nurse, and her mom was a nurse, and my brother is a nurse anesthetist, and his wife is a nurse practitioner, and my sister, she's not a nurse, but she works in the OR. Stocking
Like
medical
a
equipment.
surgical tech or something like that.
Yeah, she stocks medical equipment,
Yeah.
and everything's, fully stocked.
Yeah. So you have a long history with family in the medical profession.
Mhm.
That's cool. Yeah.
When I was a kid, I always said that I wouldn't, end up in the medical field, but I just kind of fell into it. Kind of hard not to with a family full of medical people.
Well, and you're probably good at it anyway, so I imagine you're quite
I've been
good.
doing it for 13 years, so I
Yeah,
feel very comfortable there.
you must
Yeah,
be
I worked at
doing it.
Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I've been in it for 41 years. I'm trying desperately to get out of it. I've had my fill. 41 years is enough. It's just hard to find something where you can make, equal money, so it's difficult. But yeah, I'm not that I don't like the profession, but I really don't like being a nurse practitioner at all because
Yeah, I'm just a special person.
well, I mean, the problem is that I never get away from my job. It's every day, all day, and I'm doing charts on my days off, and you don't get paid for that, so it's just not worth
Oh,
it.
wow.
Yeah,
Yeah. My mom
yeah,
was a case manager for a while.
yeah. I haven't had a life for about 13 years. I've been a nurse practitioner, so but maybe there's people I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but it seems to be my nemesis. But anyway, I mean, other than that, I love it. If I didn't have all the charting and all the documentation, it'd be great. But I think that nursing and all that stuff, because you have to kind of CYA, takes away from what we really want to be doing. That's giving more attention to the patients. So I don't know. It is what it is or isn't. It has come to a time that we're done. Do you want to do a last poem? Do you want to incite any words of wisdom in the poetry community? What would you like to do in your last few minutes here?
Let me say one quick thing of advice, and I will read one more poem. So my advice is, if you feel like you have stage fright or whatever is holding you back, just fucking do it anyway. Do it anyway, because you only live once. And I mean, that's really all there is to it. Just do it anyway, and just fail your way to success. Because
Yeah. No,
I haven't
that's
been to
that's
them all
so
the
important for
time.
people to hear that though. It's so important.
Yeah.
And I
I mean,
think that when we fear something like that, that's the best way to handle it, isn't it? Just dive in. Dive
yes,
in. And look at you.
because
You did so well tonight. And you look very swag and everything. You got your swag going on. You look good.
I try.
You did, yeah. I like it. You look good. You did well. It all was good. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like Writer's War is all about living your dream. Just kind of, like what you do at home. Sometimes like you'll play around in your makeup and you'll dance in front of a mirror or something like that. But Writer's War, it's kind of bringing that out of your bedroom and into an audience. And engaging with the audience and sharing and sharing your creativity. And when you do that. Yes, it is terrifying, but it also makes you feel so alive. You'll have like this euphoria afterwards, Yes, there's performance anxiety, but sometimes you kind of get a high, from it. So and if nothing else, you meet people that are just like you. I will read one more poem. This, I believe, is my biggest hit. Whenever I read this poem, it was after a huge flop. I wrote a poem called Paper Doll, and it was a 3-page poem, and I tried to memorize it, and I thought I had it, and I started blanking, and then I got really inside my head about it, and I continued to blank, and it was really embarrassing, but I just kept going. But I was so embarrassed after. I embarrassed myself in front of Christine Hall, spoken word, I was so embarrassed, and I felt like I kind of needed to address what happened and to kind of really have a smash hit after that, so I did this and it went really, really well. I had a huge response from this one. It's called Roses and Tomatoes, and it's about stage fright. Roses or tomatoes? Roses or tomatoes? I think if you were a person, you'd be a man, but you are just the sweat of my adrenal gland. You are the most primal part of me. You tell me when to run, hide, and count to 3. Performance anxiety. You've gained such notoriety, keeping the gifted hostage with your doubt and fright, away from the spotlight. And you are the enemy of every Hollywood celebrity. Breathing exercises and meditation, practice and preparation become my sword and shield till you throw a banana peel. Roses or tomatoes? Roses or tomatoes? I imagine you as a man, like a bad boyfriend or a sabotaging stagehand. You ask me if I'm going out like that. I tell you I'll be home in no time flat. You tell me you're only trying to protect me, but threaten my artistry. You stand between me and the door. You are the last domino, and I will knock you to the floor. You make my whole body shake. You make my stomach ache. I think I might fall, not from alcohol, my increasing cortisol. You make me draw a blank. Yeah, it's you I've got to thank. And if I were to come home and tell you I blew it, I know you'd say I told you so. I knew it. I wish you'd believe in me, that maybe I could be free. We're going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Roses or tomatoes? Roses or tomatoes? Fight or flight? I've got stage fright. Roses and tomatoes. Roses and tomatoes. Let it all fall at my feet.
Love it. I'd give you roses. I wouldn't throw to the tomatoes.
That is something I do at my show, by the way. I give a rose to everyone who participates. If you come up to the mic and read a poem, you will get a rose. And if roses aren't for you, then, we have candy. Yeah, whatever you want.
Or give it to someone else. I don't know. But that is actually a very nice gesture. I like that a lot, actually.
I like it because, you leave with something, and also it's kind of a good marketing gimmick too, like, hey, where'd you get the rose from? Oh, I got it from Writer's Wart.
Well, it's a kind of a gesture of appreciation too. So I think that's great. It's a great idea. Yeah. Did you come up with that by yourself, or is that a Christine thing?
I came up with it by myself. I was trying to think of a way. I was brainstorming ideas on how to make it special, and I try to make everyone feel included, and I try to, encourage people to come up to the mic. We're all a family, We have a lot of regulars. Shout out to Greg Slade, Zach C., Dave Stroud. We have a lot of regulars.
Great.
Oh, and Ariel Jones and Donna Jane Whitney. I love you guys. I love you guys.
He loves you. Well, you keep doing what you're doing. That's great. I'm so glad that you have that community. I hope that someday I can get something like that going here. I'm not sure on how to do it. I actually started a meetup group for poetry, and 4 or 5 or 6 times said something about getting together, and like nobody ever responded. So I was like, don't know what to do with it. So I kind of dropped it then because nobody seemed interested. So, but hopefully we can get it going again. It sounds like you're doing what you are doing on your part, and you're obviously successful because you have people show up and come to your event, and it's wonderful. So kudos to you for
Thank
doing
you.
that. And there you go. Stu just gave you 3 roses. He's the rose. That's his signature. Stuart Dan from the UK just gave you 3 roses. Greg Etzel's here. Hey, Greg. And Michael said, be comfortable feeling uncomfortable. That is so important. And then we have some applause. So, yes, indeed. Thank you so much, Silence. It's been so great to have you here tonight and to listen to your wonderful poetry and to get to know more about you. And I'm so proud of you and all your initiatives, and even speaking out on the stage fright issue and things like that, and just telling people to soldier on is just a huge thing. So thank you so much for coming on, being the wonderful you that you are.
Thank you so much.
You are welcome. So hearts and love and blessings to everyone. Thank you for joining us.
I'm not used to this. Okay. All right, there we go. I'm not used to this camera.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard, and you have to have the right background so they can see it. So, but thank you so much. Bye, everyone. Thanks for joining us. Take care. Love and blessings to all. Bye-bye.